I'm Jeff Tech, executive producer of the new Silent Generation. This is a Sabrina Van Keuren film. Sabrina and her boyfriend Eric have been together since they were 14. They, with their 4-year-old daughter Aaliyah, became teen parents. I met Sabrina through a Craigslist ad. She expressed me an interest in making this film. I gave these young people some cameras and equipment, and they got started. And this is her film.
Speeding through all this traffic only to stop at the next red light.
We are
1946 to 1964, the baby boomers generation gave rise to atomic testing, the CIA was formed, Cold War, Korean War, the first Polaroid camera, the sound barrier was broke, the start of artificial intelligence, the first Emmy Awards was broadcast, the lunar probe and the NASA moon landings, satellites were developed, color TV and video recorders, and bomb shelters became very popular. 1965 to 1979, Generation X gave rise to IBM, the Vietnam War, Watergate, disco, Silicon Valley, CDs, VHS players, cassette decks. AIDS became a problem, Chernobyl disaster, the Challenger disaster, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and is often called the MTV generation. 1980 to 2000, Generation Y is a very social conscious generation. They're technical savvy, very aware of trends with plans to change the world through the net. They are also called the millennials or echo boomers because of the sharp rise in births between 1980 and 1990.
I was born in Tucson, Arizona.
Auburn, Massachusetts.
Born in Tucson.
Tucson, Arizona. Born in Phoenix.
Tucson, Arizona, and TMC Hospital.
Band, and this is Kyle. He's our bass player, and I'm Mike, and I'm singer 1, and this is Timothy. He's our singer 2. And we are the young socialites that were raised in the great society of Tucson, Arizona. We are the great kids, the product of TUSD's fine school system.
Tucson.
What is it called?
Tucson.
Oh, alright. And do you like it here? Yeah? What do you like about it?
Because I have a lot of cars and they have flowers.
What do I remember in my past?
Yeah.
I remember being a gang member.
What was that like?
It was like really rough time. Being bad girls.
Yeah.
Gang members and fighting, drinking, smoking, pot.
I come from a military family, so childhood was always organized, really organized. My dad was always, he was a perfectionist, so if I didn't do something right, you know, I'd get, you know, bad punishment for it. You know, I learned when I was like 12 years old, I learned to be obedient. And like everything everything he told me to do, everything that he taught me, I knew at like 12 years old because of the fact he was a military guy. My mom didn't I guess agree on like his motives, I guess.
Most about my childhood, probably the toys, man. They were the coolest. Remember Stretch Armstrong and shit? That was so cool.
Toya High graduates. Thank you, Toya, for making us the people we are today. Learn how to sell drugs in the hustle. Thank you, Toya. But we will give a shout out because we all did end up going to college somehow. So college and jail.
Through that, and I graduated too.
Speaking of jail, I dropped out. But I'll be going to jail in a couple of months here for a DUI, and this Kyle here, he'll be going to Russia.
I'm going to be teaching English in Moscow.
Some university in Moscow.
I don't know, like, being in high school, you know, through middle school and everything, I used to have long hair, and like, I don't know, I guess you could say I'd always get picked on and stuff because I wasn't like the most popular dude. So I was like, all right, it's cool, you know, because I think like, so when I went into high school my freshman year, I went from like the southwest side of Tucson, Arizona, to the east side where there's like nothing but white people. I thought like for real the world is made of nothing but Mexicans where I was at, and then I moved to the east side and I'm like, wow, I'm a minority over here, like for real. So
at first I thought it was a really cool music scene out here, and it is, but it's really hard to break out of the music scene in Tucson. There's a lot of two-faced talking in Tucson, and people kind of not really being legit like in Massachusetts. We'll tell you to your face we don't like it, we're not going to hide it from you.
We sit there and we play games in the beginning or something, and we chill with our friends too, like in the very beginning. And I sing on stage too, like it's very fun. And
we spent a lot of time in the outdoors. That's what I really liked. We were always in the mountains or at a lake, camping or fishing or hunting, something along those lines. That's, yeah, always, at least twice a year.
Just because there's parties everywhere, and if depending on the people that you meet, I guess basically is how you would say if you have fun or not. So if you have chill friends and they always take you out or something, just partying, living the life.
I like playing with my toy because I am a big girl and I like getting bigger.
Ensuring quality higher education is one of the most important things we can do for future generations. Ron Lewis. How was your relationship with your parents like in the past?
honestly, my dad and I don't get along very well. I really don't like him. Like, I love him and all deep down inside. If he needed help, I'd be there. He's not the kind of person I'd get along with. He's the person that calls me, I'm not important, I'm not worth it, and I'm a disappointment. And it hurts, and I don't want to be around that. It hurts, and I think it makes me feel sad and angry sometimes because I think I'm going to make it somewhere in life, and he doesn't, and it kind of hurts that he's making me feel that low. That he sits on his butt all day on his truck, and he doesn't do anything to help me by calling me names and stuff. It makes me have low spirit and makes me feel like I can't do anything in life, but I'm keeping my head held high.
Like, I don't know, like, growing up it was cool, and then, like, as I get older, you know, it's hard because, you know, you gotta start separating away from them, which is always a hard thing to do, so, of course, you have your differences, but, I mean, what can I say, they raised me, so.
Oh, what was my relationship with my parents last night? Whoa, well, first of all, relationship with my stepfather was not good. He was the one that was hurting me. Okay? He was hurting me. I was getting spanking at him. He would touch me. And things like that. He was treating me really bad when he was little.
Sucks because my mom's always telling me that she was in my life, and I'm always telling her she's not. She was never there. And so that's how I'm guessing that I don't remember the good times, I just remember the bad times. But I really remember just going back and forth from home to home, my grandma's, my mom's, and just having to deal with all their bullshit and being raised the way I was, getting separated from my brother because of their shit too.
How close we were. We always were together, stuck together, did things for each other, help each other, always did things together.
Yeah, but when I get big, I want to be like my mommy and daddy.
Each generation should be made to bear the burden of their own wars instead of carrying them on at the expense of other generations. James Madison. What kind of drama do you face from day to day?
Big mama drama.
You know, I guess long story short, we got involved in a street racing game. You know, like Fast and Furious kind of stuff. And we didn't know the gang. We didn't know it was a legitimate gang. You know, they would always call their streets. You know, they would always call the streets. You know, like Brown and Powers Street. You know, and they'd be like, if anyone's like car like a rice burger comes rolling down that street, a bunch of cars roll up next to it and they'll roll them in and be like, yo dude, this is our fucking street. Like get off our street. I'm just gonna mess you up. That kind of stuff. Me and my buddy are like, what's the deal? This isn't your street. Like, what are you talking about?
Despondency Denied. And for those of you that don't know what despondency means, it means you've given up on life with the lack of hope or courage. And I was at a point in my life where I pretty much gave up on everything. I lost my job, lost my apartment. I lived in the desert for 3 months. I literally built a shack out of pallets, that fork truck, the blue stuff. So I built a little shack out of that, covered it with all kinds of green debris so people couldn't see what went on between the desert. It was all camouflaged. And I lived out there for 3 months, and that's where the name kind of came from. And so hence the denied part after despondency denied. It's a positive meaning to denying that despondency.
Probably the thing that stresses me out the most is probably pressure. When you have a lot of responsibility. Responsibility is a really big one, because when you have a lot of responsibility on your part, it's like a weight that is pushed down onto your shoulders, and when you have that weight on your shoulders, it's like something that's always there, and you just can't take it off no matter how hard you try to just lift it off your shoulders. It's always going to be there, that responsibility of whether it's taking care of a kid or whether it's for parents' sake, it's trying to provide for your kids or whatever it is, or even just trying to pass school. You always have that weight that just won't come off until you relieve it, and then that's why people they stress relief. Well, how do you deal with that stress? Well, simply what's stressing you out? Well, school is stressing you out. Well, don't get into school that much, and it won't be as stressed. So.
Whoa, okay. I got busted with, I wasn't smart enough, or maybe I was doing the right thing. It's like, at that time I didn't really think about how to do it or handle it with selling. Somebody snitched. I was selling it to the wrong person. And they were told when I didn't want to give it to them, to burn it, like to loan them some drugs. Then they got mad because I said no, so they snitched. And they sold on me, so I got busted.
Well, I was in rehab for like 2 years straight as a teenager. Just going through all the stuff that they teach you in rehab is just a lot of new ways to cope with everyday things, not only like drug use, but like, say you get really frustrated in your workplace, a lot of things they teach you will help you like in the workplace or in school environments. Like if you get overwhelmed with school, or something like that, they give you coping mechanisms to help with everyday life. So.
Mom, I don't like fishes, so Mother make me. I don't like eat fishes. We don't eat fishes. No, we don't eat fish. Only, I tell Mommy, I'm going to tell you who eat fishes. Mommy, a big shark eats fishes. Yeah, like big shark.
We need to remember, across generations, that there is as much to learn as there is to teach. Gloria Steinem. What do you like or dislike about your generation, and why?
Like how you see it nowadays. You got people that are literally obese, or you got people that eat too much, and yet you look in Africa and there's kids who don't eat at all. And would I rather be over there? Heck no. I'd rather be here in a house with a fireplace and a TV, and so as Americans, we're spoiled, you know, but people don't see that because the thing is people aren't grateful for what they have. You know what I mean? People aren't grateful for what they have because when they have it, they want more. They want the next big thing. And that's the difference. That's what's wrong that's another thing that is wrong with society. I mean, you take a piece of bread to an African in Africa who hasn't eaten in like 4 weeks, and you give him a piece of bread, he or she will eat that piece of bread grain by grain, grateful for that one slice of bread. And here we're like, there's no more bread. You know what I mean? And that's not good. That's why they're knocking down our government so much, is because they're not grateful for what they have. I mean, you look back at a speech that John F. Kennedy presented to the Americans, and he said, it is not what the country can do for you, but it's what you can do for your country.
Kids at my age, they're smoking pot and they're cutting themselves and hurting themselves, and it's way bad, depression and all this stuff. I think I've been through that, not the cutting or anything, but I've been through that, and I think it's appropriate at our age. Like, I think someone should help them and get to know them instead of bullying them, making fun of them, and hurting them more. People the adults really don't understand what we go through, because they think it's kid drama or teenage drama, and that we'll get over it. Some people commit suicide at my age because an adult couldn't understand them, and I think most of the stuff, what we do, it's for a reason, and the people that do it my age or do something wrong or whatever, they're stupid for doing it if their life's perfectly fine.
About our generations, that we are probably one of the most connected generations. Everyone is connected in so many different ways with Facebook and multimedia and the internet and everything. You know, it's pretty wild. It was never like that. And regardless of how you feel about it, it's an impressive thing. What I dislike is that our American can-do attitude is just turned into can. You know, we expect shit to be handed to us, and we have to work. The reason our country is so great is because so many people have busted ass for generations and generations to make it great. Because we always said we're Americans, we can do whatever the fuck we want, and however we want, and we can make whatever we want. And now it's just turned into, oh, well, I want. That's probably the thing that bothers me the most.
I like it because my teacher learned me to play. And later when I get big, I have a new goal.
How do you think our society will be like in the next 20 years?
It's not going to be about that person, it's going to be about that computer. That kind of deal. Like iRobot shit, kind of. You know?
I think everything is going to be run by computers. I don't think we're going to like flying cars and stuff, but I think everything's going to be run by computers. I'm a little scared because that means that it can learn things on its own, and you know, it can fight back when they learn things on their own. Oh my god. I think that our society would be worse if our children got into, you know, being in the polls, or not the polls, being in politics and stuff like that. I think it would be worse because just from me being a kid to now seeing the teenagers now, like they're twice as bad as I was when I was a teenager, and I was pretty bad, you know. So I mean, you see them now, and I think it's because we've got these, you know, a lot of young kids having children, and they haven't learned the discipline from their parents, so they don't teach the discipline to their kids, and then it goes on and on. So I think in time we're gonna lose discipline.
In 20 years, at the way society looks now, I see it making positive and negative strides. I mean, I see, you know, us being more kind of together, sort of. You know, I see like society being more based, but then again, I also see it being more separate. I mean, the way things are going now, you're gonna have parents who work constantly and kids basically raising themselves.
Nobody knows when Jesus is going to come back. It could be another 1,000 years. But the Bible tells us to look at the signs, and the signs are coming that Jesus is coming back soon. I believe, like I said, nobody knows for sure. Because the Bible said if somebody tells you that they know when Jesus comes back, they're a liar. But I believe that with the signs, I believe either my generation, my kids, or my grandkids should see the return of Jesus. If you look at the world right now, what's happening over Israel, you read the prophecies about what's happening. Right now, the world's looking at one world government, one world money system, and one world religion. And that's what marks the end time.
Has our economic crisis affected you in any way?
Pretty frustrated that I can't really provide for myself right now. You know, there are jobs out there that you can't live or support a child off minimum wage. And even with the certification I have, you know, I'm only going to be making $10 or $11 an hour. So I'm going to have to go back to school and get more. I want to get my paramedic, and then, like I said, I'm wildland certified. I eventually want to get structure certified. But I hate having to rely on my family again. You know, I had my own place for a while. I was working for a while. And I lost my job and I had to come back home. And it was a big ego blow. And not being able to provide for myself, that's probably the most frustrating and stressful thing right there. So I do as much as I can around figuring it out. And don't ever take anything for granted.
First of all, because of my age, trying to find a job, I'm working with younger people, and they're not too sure about older people.
The hardest thing, in my eyes, for our generation or our youth or whatever to get a job is the people that have had the jobs in the economy have had the jobs for a really long time, you know? So, I mean, even when they get fired, it's hard for them to find a new job, but we don't have the specific skills that they grew up doing, you know? I mean, we didn't grow up the same way, you know, constantly like building things or whatnot. Nowadays it's video games, you know, things like that. Kids grow up indoors, not really hands-on, so we don't have like the hands-on training that older generations got to help them move forward in the work industry. Because, you know, a lot of kids, they don't know that they can go work for construction, pick up some stuff and just start hammering. You know, they don't know how to do that, so they don't have that opportunity. You know, they have to look for certain jobs, or they think that they have to go to school to get a job in the economy.
Because of the crisis, there's not that many jobs out there, and it's hard to find a job at this time. I've been out of a job almost a year now, and it's hard to find a job, and if you do find a job, it's at minimum wage.
I feel like there should be more people out of homeless, more people, you know, more people, you know, it's to be porn rich, you see. No money. Porn rich. That's all it is. You know, and I feel like all the wealthy people can have, you know, they can make all the decisions. It's be really hard for the lesser people, I guess. Just make lesser people.
You work and get jobs?
Who does?
You and mommy and daddy.
As long as we try our best, as long as we work our hardest to keep our world running, then it'll be alright. And a lot of things could happen. War could happen, famine could happen, plague could happen, and zombies. That's the one to watch out for. But it could be good. I don't know. There are far too many people on this world. I'll say that much. And we're destroying our world. I'll say that much. Specifics? I couldn't tell you.
Stay in school and don't fuck around. Seriously, if that's the one thing I could probably take back, would be fuck. Alright. Yeah, fucking around. Yeah, because school should become first and not become like fucking one
God, you know, I'm gonna go the exact opposite from these guys. You know, school is valuable, but at the same time, you can become many a straight A students become school damaged, right? They conform to the system, they obey, and they suck a lot of dick and kiss a lot of ass. But they can't do things for themselves. I was that person for a while. I didn't want to be that anymore.
That respect your elders, no matter if they're only a little bit older than you or they're 25 years older than you. Respect your elders because they've always got more knowledge than you. They've been around a little bit longer than you, so they got a little bit more knowledge than you, you know? So if that's one thing that I would just respect. just teach them respect, especially for their elders.
I feel like everyone should get schooling. Everyone should get out of the mentality that they don't need school. Everyone should go to school, college, finish high school. You know, do your best. You know, who cares about all the high school drama? Yeah, that's there, but, you know, focus on, you know, getting out of, you know, graduating, going to college, getting your degree, so, you know, you can actually go somewhere, you know, and not have to fight through the economy, you know, because if you have a degree, you basically have your defense over the economy. That's what I can say, you know.
What if this life is just your big chance to do something amazing? A time to dream, a time for faith, a time for romance, a time for love, a time for family, a time for hope. Every generation has a purpose and a plan.
There's a little story about a girl that I once knew, and loving through the night, thinking we would be true. And one day I realized when she left for school that I was just a cock block. I was being used. Hey, 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 my baby, she don't want me no more. Hey, 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 she'd rather be a fucking little whore. Partying all night long, deciding who to screw. Looking for the next dick after the one she just blew. She became a house slut, I knew it through and through. And tested for diseases, cause my dick, I won't lose.